Chairman. That works. And Ranking Member Stabenow, I'm glad to see fellow members of the House do so well on the other side of the Capitol. So it's nice to see you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank Chairman Conaway as well, and Ranking Member Peterson, who is my unofficial advisor on agriculture, due to a mutual friend that we both have, naming my wife. I want to thank you for your hard work on this important bill. This morning, I'm going to focus mostly on Title III, which is within the jurisdiction of the Foreign Affairs Committee, in which I serve as ranking member. But first, I want to voice my concern about another piece of the Farm Bill, the troubling proposed changes to SNAP. I strongly oppose all cuts to SNAP and the proposed new work requirements for SNAP recipients. This program is a lifeline for 40 million low-income Americans. Instead of protecting SNAP, this bill, the way I read it, would take billions away from children, seniors, veterans, individuals with disabilities, and working families struggling to make ends meet. This proposal would hurt the neediest Americans, and I urge its removal. Now I'd like to turn to the Foreign Affairs section of the bill, and I want to first object to the inclusion of Section 9121 in the conference report. This provision would loosen restrictions on methyl bromide, a highly toxic chemical, and ozone-depleting substance. The 2005 Montreal Protocol, which the United States signed, phased out the use of this chemical around the world. This provision would likely cause the United States to violate this international agreement, which is why the Foreign Affairs Committee should have been consulted on the matter. So I request that Section 9121 be stricken from conference negotiations on jurisdictional grounds. Next, I'd like to discuss international food assistance. Food security, as the Chairman mentioned, is critical in international security. Nearly 800 million people around the world live without the certainty that their families will have enough to eat on a day-to-day basis. Without reliable access to food, it is much harder for a country to achieve peace, stability, and prosperity. In many parts of the world, floods and droughts lead to greater food insecurity, amplifying the effects of the conflict. So we have a security interest and a moral obligation on trying to tackle this problem as part of our foreign policy. International food aid is a critical tool in this effort. In the last Farm Bill, we were able to improve food assistance through common sense reforms, including measures that increased USAID's flexibility to improve the type of assistance that works best for each community. And we were able to reduce a reliance on the wasteful practice of monetization, a multi-step process whereby we provide NGOs with food to sell on the open market rather than making more efficient direct investments in these NGOs' efforts. I am pleased to see these reforms in both versions of Title III this year. These changes have proven successful over the last 5 years, and we should continue this progress. Of these important reforms, a few stand out as my top priorities on this year's final bill. We must extend authority for local and regional procurement, adopt the Senate amendments to the McGovern-Dole program, which would help ensure assistance around the world it was more acceptable and gets to those who need it when they need it, and keep the 25% cap on U.S. contributions to the Global Crop Diversity Trust. These provisions are essential to continuing successful international food assistance. So I look forward to working with my fellow conferees from both chambers as we continue to combat hunger in this country and abroad, and I thank you for your courtesy.